Hi everyone, my name is Al, and thank you for tuning in to this video segment of continual spiritual growth, understanding ourselves, our environment, as well as walking in our own power. Now today, I want to talk about some of the earliest supernatural experiences that I have personally had. And those experiences are rooted in déjà vu and dream premonitions. And everybody has experienced déjà vu at some point, I'm sure, so I think everybody can relate to this. Now, specifically, this was during my later years of childhood and in my early teens. And before we get into the topic, it's these times that I remind myself that there is so much more to look forward to whenever I start to doubt myself spiritually when progressing through the journey. I think that on any journey, there's always doubt, and spirituality is no exception. When in doubt, I say to myself, I think I'm just wasting my time. This is a bunch of nonsense, pseudo stuff and fiction this, and, I'm probably just really wasting my time. I got to get myself back into reality. When I have these thoughts of doubt, I remind myself of these supernatural experiences that are very real that I'm going to share with you. And to be honest, it really helps to keep me on track and keep me progressing on the journey. And not only that, but when speaking to other people on this topic, their experiences and stories add validity to my own experiences. Because I'm not the only one having these experiences, it settles the dust, it kind of clears the doubt for me, And one thing that I want to say before we get into things is that we have to know and acknowledge that we live in an environment where we seemingly have to depend on others. You have to depend on others for things like food, water, shelter, to things like information, history, and being given a template on how to live, right? And as a result of this dependency behavior, in a way, this crosses over to us not depending on ourselves. More specifically, not being able to fully believe in the validity of our own experiences with what is known as the supernatural, without outside input. We have to go out to verify what's within. So with that in mind, we have to be willing to investigate further for ourselves to come to our own truths in regards to spirituality, and do so in a way where we can verify for ourselves how things are. Now, don't get me wrong. There are absolutely times where we must seek professional help, such as anything related to medical issues, legalities, finances, nutrition, and so on. What I'm talking about is having the ability to contemplate your own spiritual experiences and not dismiss them entirely. Accept them for what they are, and that they can be so much more than an experience, that this random dream that you're supposedly having, isn't so random after all. It is equally foolish to accept an idea blindly and dismiss it entirely. So with that being said, we're going to go back to déjà vu, right? So like déjà vu, like everybody else, I too have experienced it, but I feel like I've also experienced it on a more extended scale. Meaning, instead of thinking, I feel like this has already happened, but it hasn't, instead of that, when déjà vu would happen, sometimes I would know and remember that it has happened to me before. And I remember the moment, not from when I'm awake, like we are right now, but rather in a dream. You see, I wasn't always having random dreams, especially when I was, in my early teen years. I was having dreams about future events happening before they actually happened. And oftentimes I would forget these dreams until, say, months later. That same exact dream would eventually play itself out in real time. And it hits me like that, I'm like, oh, I remember, I dreamed about this. And this happened to me a lot of times as I was growing up, and this was before I was writing my dreams down. So, most of the time I forget the dreams that I had after I wake up, in the morning and get started with my day, By the time I'm like brushing my teeth, I think to myself, I think I had a dream last night. I know I had a dream last night. I think it was nighttime. You know, I was in a parking lot. I don't remember, you know. You know, it's very hazy and, you know, you just don't remember. But then say 6 months later, I would be talking to someone and it would be nighttime. We are in a parking lot, you know, and specifically there is an exact moment where everything is aligned in the same exact way that I saw in my dream. And right after that moment went past, I remember, you know, I remember this exact moment. This blue car is right here, and you know, right where it is in my dream. This person is wearing the same colored outfit in my dream. The street light over there, you know, looks the same with the brick building behind it. Everything is a total matchup, you know, and I call these snapshots because, you know, I would only recognize that I'm already dreamt about these experiences after a very specific snapshot in time rolled over. Think of it like this, you know, this is the best way that I can explain it. So, here. So say you're in this small timeline. You have the beginning, middle, and end, you know, and time is moving forward. And let's say that you, in this timeline, are having a conversation with someone, right? This is the entire conversation. As you talk to this person, you know, the both of you are engaging, you're laughing, you're in the environment, you're having a good time, you know, time is going, you're talking, bam! Everything aligns right at this point, and you remember that you dreamed about this exact scenario playing out in the same way that is playing out right now. You just forgot that you had the dream. Whoops, I dropped it. But that's my experience with déjà vu. For me, and I can't speak for everyone, and I don't like to deal with absolutes either, but for me, it's more than feeling like you've previously experienced something and that not being the case. You know, in my experience, déjà vu is when you experience something that has already happened. You know, it's just that it's happened in a different state of consciousness, like in a dream state or an astral state. You know, whatever it is that you want to call it. Everybody has their own versions. You know, some people call it the higher realms, 4D, you know, I don't know, but you get the point. And we don't always remember having that similar experience, hence the feeling of familiarity without knowing why it feels similar, you know. Some of my experiences with déjà vu range from key conversations, walking into a new environment and feeling that déjà vu vibe, to having breakfast and eating it in a certain way, you know, stuff like that. You know, the whole spectrum is there. And again, I've spoken to other people that have shared with me very similar experiences where they had a dream of something and then it comes true, you know, and they didn't recognize it until they hit that middle point where they got that trigger, you know, and that's when they had the realization, you know. And also, you know, take what you will from this conversation. I'm just sharing my experience and the conclusion that I've come to, you know. I know that it will benefit others, and I'm sure that you will have benefited from this as well. And with that being said, I hope you learned something new. If you like this video, then I would like to kindly ask for you to please click that like button. If you haven't already, be sure to join me on my spiritual journey and subscribe to the channel, and be sure to hit that bell icon so that you are notified when I put out a new video, which is 2 times a week, one on Wednesdays and another on Sundays. Thank you very much for watching, and in my native tongue, I say, ha home.